BCSN, home of racing's biggest events, proudly presents the Breeders' Cup World Championships.
A live look at Santa Anita Park in Arcadia, California. This is day 2 of the 30th Breeders' Cup World Championships. We are already off and running for this Saturday day of championship racing, and a lot of drama in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile fillies. Here's the finish. This took place moments ago. She's a Tiger, Gary Stevens inside pink colors, Ria Antonio to the outside with Javier Castellano. You see the bumping there, the exchange and trade paint. Stewards would take a look at this in an inquiry, while She's a Tiger does hold off Ria Antonio in the photo finish. They did decide, Jerry, to make a disqualification.
Well, it's a very slight bump. She's a Tiger, ridden by Gary Stevens in the pink silks, drifts out ever so slightly, making a very insignificant contact with number 5, the eventual second place finisher. But it was so small, the margin of defeat for number 5, Rosalinda, that the stewards decided to reverse the decision, and probably right. I mean, she didn't get beat more than a couple of inches.
Javier Castellano ecstatic, along with Team Ria Antonia. Castellano, who was defeated on Bobby's Kitten yesterday, gets a victory in this juvenile fillies. However, there's more to this story. There was an injury involving Bob Baffert's Secret Compass and Fallen. Hall of Fame rider John Velasquez. You could see him clutching his left arm, hitting the ground and hitting the ground hard. With more on John Velasquez's condition, we check in with Jay Prittman.
And Lafitte, John Velasquez has been taken to Huntington Memorial Hospital, which is over in Pasadena. There's a nearer hospital to here, that being Arcadia Methodist, so read into that what you will. I talked to Bob Elliston, who's our on-track contact from the Breeders' Cup in terms of human injuries. He said that under HIPAA laws at this point, they can't give out any further information on John's condition, but he did get up and walk to the ambulance before taken away from there. We will obviously try and get a further update on him later on in the show. The news on Secret Compass, regretfully, is very poor. She suffered a terrible fracture to her left front ankle, and according to Dr. Larry Bramlage of the American Association of Equine Practitioners, she has had to be euthanized. She lost all the blood supply to that limb and had to be put down.
Next race, Breeders' Cup Filly Mare Turf, a 1.25 miles on grass, a classic U.S. versus Europe matchup here with a $2 million purse, a field of 10, with the current favorite of the European variety drawn inside Dank is 9-5. Also solid support for Romantica number 2 at 4-1, and the anticipated pace setter Laughing. Look out for her. She likes to steal races. She is currently 5-1. Broadcast team and Donna Brothers, a very happy Breeders' Cup Saturday to you.
Lafitte, thank you. Happy Breeders' Cup Saturday to you as well. And as you mentioned, a firm turf course, normally conventional thinking would have it that would compromise the European chances, but we saw what happened yesterday with 2 wins on this turf course. And Dank and Romantica are the only 2 Europeans in here. That's the 1 and the 2. They've both won on firm turf conditions. In fact, Dank won last time out here in America on a firm turf, so they won't be able to use that as an excuse. Let's go to Nick Luck for more on Dank.
Dank is trained by Sir Michael Stout, who's with me now 10 years to the day since Islington won in searing heat here at Santa Anita this very race. Is it fair to draw a comparison between the 2 fillies, Sir Michael?
No, I think they're very different. She was much more wired up and highly strung, Islington. This filly is very phlegmatic.
And why do you think she's got the attributes for this particular race?
Well, I think she indicated at Arlington that, you know, she bounces off the firm ground, and she's competitive with the top American grass fillies.
And given her inside post position, will Ryan go forward with her early?
It's up to him. He's not going to get too far off them, because we don't think there's going to be a lot of pace. But he has to be left to do what he has to do.
And you're a veteran of Breeders' Cups. The event still got it for you?
Oh, yeah, I love it. Love it here.
Good luck. Cheers.
And, if you don't pressure her early, she's going to make you pay. Larry Calmus with the call, the $2 million Breeders' Cup Filly Mare Turf.
All right, Lafitte, just a couple of horses left to go into the starting gate here. An interesting beginning to this race. They're going to go down the hill for a bit and then cross over the main track, and we've just got one more to go in to the outside stall. It's Kittens Dumpling stepping forward. We're all in line and we are ready for the start. They're off in the Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Turf. And Laughing got off to a very good beginning. Emollient is out well on the far outside, and here comes Dank right up the rail with early speed. Marketing Mix is close to as they cross over the main track. In between horses, right there is Alterite. And then comes Alterite. Laughing is down at the rail. Tis Flirtatious in tight in between horses. Kushti, Kittens, Dumplings. And they're coming to the top of the stretch. And there goes Dank to the neck of front-running Emollient. And Dank draws up alongside, and Dank takes the lead at the top of the stretch. It's Dank in front. Emollient, Romantica, Marketing Mix, Alterite on the far outside. They're all trying to come and get Dank and Ryan Moore. Dank is in front close to home as they come to the finish. It's a sensational filly. It is Dank. Dank has won it over Romantica. And then it was Alterite and Emollient. Dank does it in the filly and mare turf.
Ryan Moore and Dank for Sir Michael Stout. Perfect on American soil with 2 Grade 1 victories, the Beverly D in Chicago, and now the filly mare turf at Santa Anita. Record as we check in with Donna Brothers.
Brian, congratulations. Your 5th Breeders' Cup win, and Dank's 2 for 2 now in the United States. Did you expect this kind of run from her today?
On her last run, I very much expected her to win. I don't think she was quite at her best today. You know, she trained very well in the week, but I think her coat's a little long, and she made harder work of that than I thought she should have done. But you know, I had to ride her a little differently today. And
you say she wasn't quite at her best today. She ran a great race, and Jerry Bailey pointed out that she was laying a little closer today than normal. Talk to me about that.
She was drawn 1, and I thought we'd try to make them work just to put a bit of speed into the race. And I was hoping we'd go a little fast, and I ended up having just to move a bit closer and try to keep it honest, because she sees it out very well, you know.
Quite frankly, you seem more relieved than happy.
Yeah.
Well, a relieved Ryan Moore, Lafitte. Congratulations, Ryan.
Man, a few words. His 3rd win on a Breeders' Cup stage. He won the last 2 Juvenile turfs. Wrote 2 years ago, George Vancouver a season ago, and now Dank in this Breeders' Cup filly mare turf. As we check in with Nick Luck with winning trainer Sir Michael Stout. Nick.
Well, she did it, and she did it pretty well, Sir Michael, but you fancy that she's had to do that in spite of circumstances.
Yeah, well, the 1 draw meant that, you know, we had to be positive, and she was just a little fresh early on.
And Ryan didn't panic. He was quite happy to let her stride on. Was that a premeditated plan beforehand?
Well, he knew that he had to, you know, not get shut in down on that inside. But have a word with him. Yeah, he doesn't usually panic.
Oh, no, he's been quite loquacious already to Donna. He's been quite loquacious.
Really? Yeah.
You never know, you might get a few more words out of him today.
Oh, I don't need him. He's done his job.
He certainly has. Just talk to us about the plans for this filly, because she's a homebred for James and Anita Wigan. Would you like to keep her in training next year? You fancy this could just be the tip of the iceberg?
Yeah, I would love to keep her in training. I think she's really progressing, and it may be, I've kept my powder dry, but I might have to start to get persuasive now. But he may want to do it as well. I hope so.
You won't need to persuade too hard, Sir Michael. So Michael Stout wins another Breeders' Cup filly and mare turf, Lafitte.
15 minutes out to the Grade 1 Breeders' Cup filly mare sprint. Sweet Lulu, the favorite, at a tepid 4-1. Welcome back to the Great Race Place at the foot of the San Gabriel Mountains, Santa Anita Park in Arcadia, California. Zeroing in on post time for the Breeders' Cup filly mare sprint. Way down at the bottom, the Californian is favorite, currently 4-1. Defending champ Groupie Doll. All right, so that price is deflating a touch now, 5-1. And Bob Baffert's deep closing book review #2.
Well, Lafitte, yesterday, Sheikh Mohammed, the owner of the famous worldwide Godolphin stables, was said to be ecstatic at the victory of Outstrip in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile turf for his European operation. His American operation are represented in this upcoming race by Dance Card, who is a filly with an intriguing profile. She was most progressive last year until injury intervened. She was off for 11 months, came back in New York with a promising third, if somewhat unspectacular. But I've been speaking to Godolphin representatives here, Jimmy Bell and Simon Crisford, and they assure me that in spite of her inexperience, in spite of a layoff, she's ready to run big, and she will handle the speed-favouring track here at Santa Anita. Thus far this weekend, it has not been bountiful from shippers for the East Coast, but Godolphin are confident that they can match up their European operation with success for their American wing in this upcoming race. Lafitte?
Yeah, Nick, we've seen 3 Godolphin-owned runners in this race over the last several years. Their best finish was Sarah Louise in the 2009 edition.
Well, Nick had a good point about East Coast versus West Coast. Typically at Santa Anita, even before the synthetic racing surface of 5 years or so ago, West Coast horses had an advantage when the Breeders' Cup was run out here, sometimes a significant advantage. Last year it seemed to flip, and it was a very even racing surface for East and West. But already this weekend, I mean, yesterday we had Golden Sense, we had Beholder. Today, She's a Tiger ran well before being disqualified. So it looks like the California contingent might be at an advantage once again.
Speed, speed, and more speed. And we'll see if that trend continues in about 9 minutes for this Breeders' Cup Filly Mare Sprint. Sweet Lulu, still the favorite for Jerry Hollendorfer at 9-2, breaking from the far outside just to her inside. Defending champ Groupie Doll 9-2, and Bob Baffert's book review. She is a horse that'll have to come up against the grain. She is a deep closer. If speed is going to hold as it has been, she's going to be up against it. See how things work out.
The last time Game On Dude lost a race was in last year's Breeders' Cup Classic. Since then, he's a perfect 6 for 6 for trainer Bob Baffert, and once again is expected to go into the starting gate as the clear betting favorite.
We really set high expectations. Running second is not an okay thing.
Fort Larned with the heart of a champion!
Defending champ Fort Larned looks to become only the second back-to-back winner in Classic history. He's had a hit-and-miss season in 2013, but now he returns to Santa Anita, the scene of his defining long-shot victory.
I was probably a little more under the radar last year, but this year it's a lot of the same horses back in the race. The best in the world is a Breeders' Cup Classic.
Mucho Macho Man couldn't quite get past Fort Larned a year ago, but comes back with a new weapon in his arsenal, the hottest jockey on the West Coast, who happens to be 50-year-old comeback king Gary Stevens.
Never have been fortunate enough to win the Breeders' Cup Classic, but in the back of my mind, still burning a little bit. Man, what if? Maybe this is the year.
Trainer Bill Mott knows what it takes to win the Classic. He's done it twice in his Hall of Fame career. And Mott returns with Flat Out, who finished third a year ago.
I'll take the 2 Breeders' Cup Classics that we have. To me, it ranks up there with the Triple Crown races.
America's most successful trainer, Todd Pletcher, has thus far been frustrated in the country's richest race. He's 0 for 11 in the Classic, with only 1 top 3 finish.
It's our biggest race. I think it's also a very difficult one to win. So it'd be a huge, huge moment.
Pletcher hopes to break through with Belmont Stakes winner Palace Malice.
Palace, Malice, and Mike Smith in the Belmont Stakes.
And another 3-year-old, Travers winner Will Take Charge, will be Dwayne Lucas's first starter in the Classic since 2004.
Will take charge with a dramatic lunge at the end.
78-year-old Lucas has experienced a renaissance this season, including a win in the Preakness Stakes.
Still have the same passion, still get up early and go every day, ride my horse. I got the greatest life.
Shaping up as another classic in the Classic. That'll be on NBC, a $5 million purse, the highlight every year on Breeders' Cup Saturday. So the top 3 finishers are back. Game On Dude, the favorite in racing and most lucrative and exclusive live bankroll handicapping contest. A $10,000 buy-in is required with a cash prize pool of up to $500,000. Tough handicapping endeavor, this Breeders' Cup Filly Mare Sprint. It is post-time. Final thoughts on the Filly Mare Sprint from Donna Brothers on the track.
Well, Lafitte, our handicappers might not like Groupie Doll, but I'm going to forgive her. She's only had 3 starts this year, only 1 win. But I've seen this filly all year. She's carried a whole lot more weight than she did last year. She comes into this race with that weight off of her, conditioned and ready for her best again, in my opinion, Lafitte.
Julien Leparoux, who won this race aboard Informed Decision. Larry Coleman with a call post-time of Filly Mare Sprint.
They're off in the Filly and Mare Sprint. And a very good start for Teddy's Promise, who goes out to take the early lead. And right alongside is Judy the Beauty, and Sweet Lulu is there on the far outside, and Starship Truffles fires through at the fence. And right in between horses is Meanie is close, and then Great Hot Groupie Doll, the defending champions on the far outside, 4 lengths off the lead. 2 lengths farther back to Judy the Beauty. Dance Card is circling up on the far outside, and then it's Dance to Bristol, and they're into the stretch, and it's Groupie Doll, and she's made the lead as they come to the 8th pole. Competition coming from Judy the Beauty, and on the outside, Dance Card. Groupie Doll's in front, down to the 16th pole. Judy the Beauty, Dance Card on the outside, running after her. Groupie Doll digs in for all she has, and she has enough to win it. Groupie Doll did it again. She beat Judy the Beauty. Dance Card was 3rd. Summer Applause 4th. Groupie Doll is a champion again.
Never underestimate the heart of a champion. Groupie Doll digs in, holds on to go back-to-back in the Breeders' Cup Filly Mare Sprint.
You can get them whenever you want.
Donna's with the winning rider, Rajiv Mirage.
Right now, Rajiv, back-to-back wins in the Filly Mare Sprint with Groupie Doll. You were laying a little closer this year than last year. Talk to me about your trip.
Well, it's very obvious that it's a speed favoring track, and I wanted to come out there, get a good, nice position wherever she's comfortable, and she gave it to me early, so I didn't take it away from her. You know, she gave me some natural speed today, which I was happy about, and from the quarter pole, I said, they're going to really have to run to pass her because she's not full of horse.
So normally she doesn't put you in that position. Today she did.
Yeah, today she did, and if it's any day for her to put me in position, today was the right day.
Rajiv, a lot of people doubted this filly could come back with this kind of a race. She's had 3 starts this year, only 1 win. Your thoughts coming into the race?
Well, I thought today was probably going to be her best performance of the year. Leading up to the race last year, it was a different kind of setup for her. She was so dominant. This year kind of took her a couple races to get into her groove. And today was just her best race of the year when it needed to be.
And you get your 4th Breeders' Cup win of your career. What's it mean to you to win these races?
I mean, if you told me today that I'm winning my first Breeders' Cup, I would have been overjoyed. And to win 4 is just kind of mind-boggling. I don't know how to describe it, but I'm telling you, I'm really happy.
Congratulations. Go celebrate, Rajiv. Let's go to Jay.
I'm with Buff Bradley. Buff, this is a family horse. Your dad owns it. You train it. You raised her. What does this moment mean to you?
It's very special. Him being here last year was great. He's here in spirit with us right now. He's at home in Frankfurt watching it with my family. Wish he could be here for it, but it was a long travel, but I'm happy to take it home to him.
When you walked out on the track, your voice kind of caught. You said it's her last race.
Yeah, last race for us, and it was going to be emotional no matter what. So
amazing.
She's the best, so.
How proud are you that she was able to come back here and defend her title for the 2nd straight year?
It's really big, and we're all just so excited. My team, my family, they've done a wonderful job with this mare.
Congratulations, Buff.
Thank you.
This make this win that much sweeter for everyone associated with this terrific mare.
Oh, I think so. It's very difficult for any horse in any category that we have to come back and repeat, to win the same race 2 years in a row. Most of them aren't as dominant the 2nd year. I don't think she's as dominant as she was last year, but still classy enough and good enough to pull it off.
Totally agree. This is not a knock on her at all. She's not quite as brilliant this year, and I think they knew that going in, really. But it is a testament to her determination and her heart that she's able to get it done anyway.
She was untouchable last year. She'd won 4 straight coming into the Breeders' Cup Filly Mare Sprint. She actually lost her last race this year. And what about this rivalry, which we probably won't see any more of, but in their last 3 races, Wes Welker would like this track, speed favoring Broncos on a bye. He gets to take in the Breeders' Cup here at Santa Anita. So we're going to stick with this sprint theme now, but we're going to switch surfaces to the Geico Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint. Another full field and another $1 million purse. We just saw Groupie Doll successfully defend her title. We'll see if Ms. Direction can do the same. Remember, she was 20-1 on the morning line last year. She got hammered early, 6-1 at post time, and she won. For Jim Rome, who is on hand to see his big mare try to go back-to-back in this turf sprint. Now, this type of race, specifically at this venue, is nothing like you'll see at any other racing venue in North America. And here's what it looks like if you're in the saddle. The Great Race Place for a 7th time, home to the Breeders' Cup World Championships. In the morning, you see Game On Dude on his home track revving his engines for Hall of Fame trainer Bob Baffert. Fort Larned, the defending champ, in his stall. He works out well before the sun rises. Then you have Mucho Macho Man, second in this race last year. He is huge, out to avenge his defeat to Fort Larned, and the Belmont Stakes winner Palace Malice out to prove he is, in fact, the best 3-year-olds in training in America.
You can tell a cowboy by the jeans that he picks and wears, the length of them, the boots that he picks out, and above all, the crease of his cowboy hat.
When D. Wayne Lukas grew up, cowboys were his heroes. After he became one, he was larger than life.
Bob Baffert said at Preakness Week, they said, what about Lukas and Oxbow? And he said, well, if we're going to kill him, use all 6 bullets because one won't do it.
It's Oxbow and Gary Stevens to win the Preakness in an upset over It's My Lucky Day.
You put so much effort into it, they're very difficult to win. So suddenly, in that last 100 yards, you usually know if you're home free or not, and it sweeps over you a sense of satisfaction. Damn it, we did it right, and it came full cycle.
Lucas's golden years were in the 80s and 90s, when he averaged over 25 graded stakes victories a year. Numbers dropped to 7 during the next decade, and then finally in 2010 and 11, 0.
You know, even when he went through his down times there for a few years, he was the first one on the racetrack and always had a smile on his face and was always upbeat. And, you know, said, she might say, show me one in Saratoga, sure, this might be the next one. You know, chances are it wasn't, but.
I think that you miss some of the great happinesses in life if you don't play the cards that are dealt with you and make the most of them.
Wayne is definitely the most optimistic and resilient person that I've ever been around or met.
I've walked out into the walking ring to get legged up, knowing that I'm not on the best horse. And by the time I leave that paddock, I think the only way that horse can get beat is if I screw it up.
Lucas's year hit another high note this summer when his other star 3-year-old, Will Take Charge, won the Travers Stakes.
Will Take Charge is surging, and Will Take Charge with a dramatic lunge at the end.
I'm really happy for him because he's one of the great promoters and one of the hardest working son of a bitches that ever lived. The king. We call him the king out here.
I've been blessed to sit out there on a really nice saddle horse every morning and soak up those sunrises and watch some damn nice horses go by. And that feeling, I wish I could bottle it and sell it because it would really sell well.
Well, the 2 Europeans in this year's Breeders' Cup Classic are Declaration of War and Planteur. Planteur is an outsider and deserves to be, for all he's been third in 2 Dubai World Cups, and is bred by the Wildenstein family, who also bred Jerry Bailey's famous long shot Arcog. The meaningful player is Declaration of War. This is a horse, of course, as you heard earlier in the day, trained by Aidan O'Brien, ridden by his 20-year-old son, Joseph, and the confidence is growing with each European winner that this horse can become the first since Arcog to land a Breeders' Cup Classic, a $5 million Breeders' Cup Classic on the main track. The jockey, however, has had no rides on dirt, and the horse has never encountered the surface. It's a big ask, but it's not an impossible one, Lafitte.
Yeah, Nick, riding in a $5 million race, his first time on dirt, jockey Joseph O'Brien. Well, Bobby Flay is on hand at Santa Anita, but last night the Breeders' Cup hosted the 3rd annual Taste of the World, featuring chefs from 15 different countries, owners, jockeys, trainers, sampled food from such renowned chefs as Bobby Flay himself, and had a chance to relax away from the racetrack. When we come back, Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint with $1 million on the line, post time in 12 minutes. What a bargain. Speaking of which, Chips All In. Purchase for $4,500. Current earnings $410,000. How about Lady of Shamrock, an $11,000 investment? She runs well. She'll go over $1 million. Silver Max, who just beat Wise Dan, is making more than $1.6 million, a $20,000 purchase. And Trinity, who won last year's Breeders' Cup Sprint, $1.5 million in earnings. Purchase for $21,000 as we check in with Donna Brothers.
Well, Lafitte, Mike Battaglia picked Ms. Direction off of that long layoff, been off for 5 months. Is she fit? You betcha. I got a chance to look at her when she walked onto the racetrack. We know that she won this race last year off of the 6-month layoff, but that doesn't mean she's fit off of this particular layoff. She is. I watched her work last time over the Santa Anita turf course in her preparation for this race. That was on October 25th. Mike Smith worked her here in the morning in 57-4. So she's obviously not only fit, but sharp and runs well on this downhill turf course.
There she is for Jim Rome. Mike Smith in with Ms. Direction. Larry Coleman standing by with the call. Post time, the 2013 Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint.
All right, Lafitte, one of the America last year, just a spectacular finish at the end, won by Ms. Direction, and this should be quite a good one as well. Just a couple left to go into the starting gate here. Tight end touchdown and Javier Castellano, and here's Unbridled's Note and Corey Nakatani. They're all in line and ready for the start. Just keeping them settled down. They're off in the Geico Turf Sprint. Unbridled's Note on the far outside, sharp out of the gate. Ms. Direction there too. Renee's got Zip on the inside, and tight end touchdown now come on through to take the lead as they rocket down the hill here at Santa Anita. And then comes Chips All In to the inside. Now they cross over the main track to the top of the stretch, and Renee's got Zip has a 3-length lead at the top of the stretch. Tight end touchdown. Ms. Direction comes with her run on the outside. Then it's Spring to the Sky. Renee's got Zip is in front. Tight end touchdown, Ms. Direction, and she's closing in with powerful strides on the far outside. Here comes Ms. Direction on the inside. Renee's got Zip. Tight end touchdown between them. Here's the finish. Ms. Direction has won it again. It is dead tight for a second between tight end touchdown and Renee's got Zip. And then came Unbridled's Note. One more win for Ms. Direction, and 20 wins in the Breeders' Cup for Mike Smith.
And 3 in Breeders' Cup 30 for Mike Smith. Ms. Direction in a carbon copy of the 2012 Turf Sprint title successfully defended.
Wasn't as far back early today as she was last year, but through the stretch, same kind of run on the outside, well judged by Mike Smith. But I got to give a lot of credit to Mike Pipey. This filly hadn't run since June. Yeah. Just like last year, off a long layoff, not easy to do, still had her at her peak.
It takes guts to stick to your guns like that, doesn't it? And not give this filly a prep race. And you know, it sounds silly. It sounds almost stupid to suggest that a horse would know where the finish line is. But when you see a horse like Ms. Direction do this exact thing time and time and time again, it makes you wonder.
That is Jim Rome there, part owner of Ms. Direction. An emotional scene as he makes his way down to the winner's circle. Last year, so excited by virtue of her performance in her first Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint win. And now, how about this? A perfect 7 for 7. Talk about a course specialist. 7 for 7 going down the hillside turf course, and Mike Smith taking the man upstairs for a safe ride and a victorious one.
Boy, these turf sprints are so exciting.
Again, a blanket finish, and I don't know if Renee's got Zip got up for second. But again, you know, a blanket finish. She doesn't win, but runs a really great race.
Tight end touchdown, ran huge. What a race.
Donna, we're going to have to put this guy on the payroll.
Yeah, Mike Smith has been on our telecast a lot. Hopefully we're not going to have to pay him. Mike, your 20th win. Let's talk about Ms. Direction. It was an exciting finish to watch. Was it exciting for you or nerve-wracking?
You know, we were much closer this year than last, but this is a situation where she's made for this down the hill course. She absolutely loves it. You know, and you really got to give a lot of credit to Mike Pipey and his whole crew. 6-month layoff she's coming off every time and does stuff like this. Great training job.
Randy Moss talked about that it's, you know, maybe impossible or silly to suggest that a horse knows where the wire is, but this filly runs like she knows where the wire is. Mikey, your thoughts on that?
Zenyatta did. I swear to you, they know. She knew right when she had it. She hit a gear, she got by me, she actually kind of geared down just a tad. I said, no, it's not over yet. And she's just amazing. She's amazing.
Speaking of not over yet, let's talk about your career. I mean, you've had some peaks and valleys. You've been on the peak for a long time now, in the Hall of Fame a few years ago. But I mean, at 20 Breeders' Cup wins now, did you ever imagine that you would reach that sort of echelon?
Just incredible. I'm so blessed. Thank the Lord each and every day for just giving me the ability to do what I do right now. This is the best job in the world. I absolutely love it.
All right, Mike, if it keeps going like this, we'll be talking to you later.
And I'm with winning trainer Mike Pipey. Mike, how satisfying is this for you to bring her off a layoff for the second straight year and win this race for the second straight year?
Extremely satisfying. It's a very, very special filly. It's going to be sad to see her go because she's getting on a plane tomorrow and going to be in the sale on Monday at Fasig-Tipton, and that's just going to be a big void in my life, you know, without her. But I couldn't be happier. Her race was unbelievable. You know?
So this is officially her last race?
I would say so, yeah. I mean, she's in the sale on Monday, and we'll just see what happens, you know. But I can't see anybody not wanting her with the way she's done it. She has a tenacity. She's breeding good-looking fillies. She brings it all to the table for a broodmare.
What is it about her on this course that just makes her so special? She's remarkable over this downhill course.
Yeah, she loves Santa Anita. She's 7 for 7 on the grass. You know, we've done the right things. We took a little time off after the New York trip. I sent her up to Magali Farm for a little break over there. They did a great job getting her back to me in good shape, and basically just took our time. We opted not to run with the boys 2 times in a row because there was no race on the schedule for her the other way. And it's kind of gone, you know, into a direction where we knew we were gonna have to bring her on the layoff 2 times in a row like this, but I'll take my chances.
You did a heck of a job, Mike. Congratulations.
Picture perfect day at Santa Anita Park in Arcadia, California. Breeders' Cup 30, the World Championships in 2013. Off and running Rhea Antonia via disqualification. In the juvenile fillies, she's a Tiger taken down. Dank for England. There's John Velasquez, injured in a spill in the juvenile fillies, has not yet returned. We'll keep you posted. Now the English Super Filly in Dank, winning that Breeders' Cup filly mare turf for Sir Michael Stout. He also won 10 years ago with Islington, and then the back-to-back repeat offenders, Groupie Doll with a pumped up Rajiv Mirage. Misdirection make it 20 Breeders' Cup wins in the Breeders' Cup for Mike Smith. 10 minutes out for the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. Gary Stevens on the horse Velasquez would have ridden. Havana, who is currently 7-2, the second choice behind Tap It Rich. Some support for number 3 Mexicoma at 8-1. So a field of 13 going a mile and a 16th, chasing the riches offered in this Breeders' Cup Juvenile down to Nick Luck.
And Isle of Feet, and with Anne Smith, who trains number 1 Smarties Echo. It is Anne's first ever runner in a Breeders' Cup race, but it is not by any means her first experience at Breeders' Cup. And just tell us why. You were a big part of the Unbridled story, that great classic hero.
I was fortunate enough to get a hot walking job with Carl that led to ponying and galloping Unbridled the summer he was at Arlington.
This is the great Carl Nasker, of course, and he has been on the phone to you just before we began this interview.
He gave me a good luck call. It made me feel really good.
What did you learn from him?
Oh, I mean, that would take hours, right?
But is he the reason why you're standing here today in the paddock on Breeders' Cup?
He's very encouraging. All the while, I worked for him a couple years ago as well. Went back as a gallop rider and learned more and more each time, and especially with Ian now, too, Ian Wilkes.
Smarties Echo is your horse here. I thought he looked more physically imposing than just about any horse in the field. What chance do you believe he really has today?
I believe he has every chance to pull it off. I do believe in him.
And do you believe in the jockey E.T. Baird as well, and if so, why?
He's getting to know the horse more and more. Each time he's figuring out little things about him. Each time he works him. He's had the race under his belt now with him.
And best of luck. Anne Smith, the trainer of Smarties Echo, who could pull off a big surprise here, Jay Pridman.
And now let's talk about Mexicoma, number 3, who was bought privately after his last race, a 14-length win by the Team Valor group that's run by Barry Irwin. You might remember them from having won the Kentucky Derby in 2011 with Animal Kingdom. Their initial plan with him was to take it easier as a 2-year-old, still point for next year's Kentucky Derby, but he was doing so well, they decided to ship him out here and take a shot in today's Breeders' Cup Juvenile.
Tap It Rich will be in the Triple Crown picture next year, says Bob Newmeyer. Trainer Bob Baffert, do you agree?
I hope he's right. Bob's usually pretty right on, but this horse has a lot of raw talent. If the Breeders' Cup would have been somewhere else, I don't know if I would have shipped him to run him in the Breeders' Cup. Being we're back home, he's familiar with the surroundings here, but he's going to have a really clear. He cannot afford to get any kickback.
If he gets this nasty stuff kicked in his face, this stinging dirt, as you've been calling it, is that his chance gone?
Yeah, I think so, and Mike knows that. He's going to have a good break. He can't break like he did last time.
And the other horse, you're telling me we should not underestimate. Why is that? New Year's Day on a different surface today to Del Mar.
Because he can get the distance also, and he's got a little bit of speed, and he's tough and durable, and he's one that we should hear from down the road.
Is it a question of the horse with a flash of brilliance versus the horse that's a little tougher?
I'd rather have the flash of brilliance.
There you have it. Well, thank you very much, Lafitte.
Bob Baffert, three-time Kentucky Derby winning trainer, looking for his next Derby prospect. Will it be New Year's Day? Could it be Tappet Rich, one of the favorites for this Breeders' Cup Juvenile, as we check in with Larry Coleman for the load and call of the 30th $2 million Breeders' Cup Juvenile.
All right, Lafitte, always excited to see these two-year-olds in action and see what comes of them as we get set for the Kentucky Derby next year. But all eyes are on the Breeders' Cup Juvenile today. Diamond Bachelor and Julien Leparoux have moved into the starting gate. And now Havana with new jockey Gary Stevens walks right in, and the D. Wayne Lucas trainees Strong Mandate up to the outside stall. They're all in line, ready to go. They're off in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. Tappet Rich did not have a good start again, but it wasn't terrible. Here comes Havana to the outside, and on the inside, Conquest Titan and Rum Point between those two, and these three are out for the lead, and Strong Mandate is fourth and wide into that first turn. We Miss Artie saves all the ground there, and in behind them, Medal Count. New Year's Day is down at the rail. 2.5 back to New Year's Day. Picking it up is Dance with Fate on the outside, then Medal Count. Bondholder along the rail is next, and Strong Mandate is in front as the field rounds the far turn. Havana comes to the outside of him, and Havana has run by Strong Mandate. We Miss Artie is third. Tappet Rich is fourth. They're into the stretch, and it's Havana. Havana to the 8th pole. Strong Mandate. We Miss Artie on the outside, then Tappet Rich into the final 16th. Havana is reaching for the wire. Strong Mandate is coming back and up the fence. It's New Year's Day, and New Year's Day on Breeders' Cup Day gets up the rail to win. Running down Havana, Strong Mandate, then Bondholder. New Year's Day up the rail, and Martin Garcia gets his first Breeders' Cup win for Bob Baffert.
Which started out as a gut-wrenching day for Bob Baffert, losing his filly Secret Compass in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile fillies. Now gets his victory, embracing Jill Baffert with New Year's Day at 10-1 in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile.
New Year's Day broke his maiden at Del Mar and was pointed toward the front runner, which was the prep for this race here at Santa Anita. He spiked in temperature, got sick, missed the race, came back. For a horse like this to close like he did, it's the first one we've seen this weekend, close into the dirt, up the inside rail. This speaks volume about his chances next year into a 1.25 mile race like the Kentucky Derby.
Once again, we had one of these super fast paces as the jockeys tried to take advantage of a speed favoring tendency of the track. It looked like Havana might be long gone at the top of the stretch, even in mid-stretch, but the fractions started to take a toll on Havana as New Year's Day rockets up the inside to win it. The third juvenile win for trainer Bob Baffert, and some welcome good luck for owners Gary and Mary West. They had so many three-year-old contenders this year, Flashback among others, and they just all seem to fall by the wayside. But now they're in the winner's circle in the Breeders' Cup.
Donna Brothers with winning jockey Martin Garcia.
Lafitte Martin Garcia just said, I got it. They made me work for it, but I got it. You're covered in dirt, Martin. Tell me about your trip.
You know what? It's a really good horse, and then I had to put it in the race in the beginning, and then soon when I came in the backside, I take him out to take a little breathe, and then back in the rail to save some ground.
So you got the dirt out of his face for a little while, gave him a little break.
Like a quarter of a mile, but then they knocked it. I have to save some ground because I don't want to go too wide.
This is a horse who had never actually won a race on actual dirt. Were you concerned about that?
Not really, because since Mr. Baffert told me to work, he been like it so much a dirt. I was thinking it wasn't a problem for him.
Martin, your first time to ride him in the afternoon. Have you been on him in the morning?
Yeah, I've been working in the morning, and then I'm glad that I be able to ride in the afternoon.
Your first Breeders' Cup win, what's it mean to you?
It means a lot. It's like it took a little while to win the first, and then now I win, so I hope a lot of wins coming.
Martin Garcia, Lafitte, hoping the floodgates have opened.
Yeah, Donna, we were first introduced to Martin Garcia when he won a Preakness for Bob Baffert. That was with looking at Lucky. He is Game On Dude's exercise rider in the morning. He was in the cockpit for Game On Dude when he won the Pacific Classic. He will ride Painter in the Classic, but the success he has had specifically with Baffert and the trust Baffert has in Garcia.
He works, I won't say all of them, but a lot of Bob Baffert's horses in the morning include, as you just mentioned, horses that he does not ride in the afternoon. It looks like Martin was looking to point out that it was getting kind of crowded there, so he just ducked back into the rail. And it appeared like Gary Stevens had made the right move by moving a little bit earlier on the Havana. I actually was thinking that, turning for home, opening up, maybe playing the track that would carry him home. But this was a very good effort by New Year's Day because he's the only horse really running the last 16th of a mile.
Some tired horses late, Randy.
I mean, we still have a speed favoring racetrack for horses like Havana and Strong Mandate to hold on and finish second and third after those kind of fractions, you know, really tells you something. And again, for the second straight year, this is not a particularly strong bunch of 2-year-old colts. The fillies, in the juvenile fillies, as much as they were staggering coming home, ran faster. 143.02 for a mile and a 16th, 143.52 for the boys.
Down to Jay Prittman.
And I'm with winning trainer Bob Baffert. Bob, you had 2 horses in this race. Both of them were very inexperienced. What was the difference for New Year's Day today?
Well, you know, we know that he's had those couple of outs. We're very high on him at Del Mar. And the way he's been training really, and I know the Derby distance and the going long is going to be better and stronger. He was just a little green, but just the way coming in here, he was telling us in the mornings that he was ready to go, and I'm glad I skipped that one race with him just to freshen him up.
You ride Martin Garcia on a lot of your horses. What was the difference that he may have made in the final stretch here, getting this horse up to win? Well,
and I just told him, you know, ride your horse. You know, this is your chance to shine. And so you don't get very many opportunities, you know, put you on these good horses. You got to deliver. So, you know, take advantage of the rail and just ride your race and just ride them like, you know, and ride hard. Don't nothing's going to be given to you. And I'm just glad that he deserved a win like this. And this business is so hard. One minute I lost a great little filly, and then to win this.
Thanks, Bob.
So much emotion in this game, and in the first race of the day we watched Secret Compass take a bad step, was injured, had to be euthanized, trained by Bob Baffert. It's gut-wrenching, and now the complete polar opposite of victory on a Breeders' Cup stage. This 2-year-old in New Year's Day, and perhaps a contender next year along the Triple Crown Trail. New Year's Day, this is the Breeders' Cup. We focus on the breeding. He is by Street Cry, who also sired Street Sense, won the 06 Juvenile.
He'll gather himself if he's a good horse and be better for it.
Yeah. Randy, Gary and Mary West have owned horses for 30 years. They didn't start a horse in the Breeders' Cup until last year. They had a few that didn't run all that well, a couple in the Juvenile. And now here they are celebrating in the winner's circle and the owners of a Breeders' Cup champion in New Year's Day.
Well, they know the ups and downs of horse racing as well. I mean, earlier this year when it looked like they were really loaded for the Triple Crown, he even said in interviews, look, hey, I'm not taking anything for granted. I know the way this game is. It could all just go away in a minute. And sure enough, he didn't have any impact at all on the Triple Crown, but now at least he's got a Breeders' Cup winner and something to look forward to for next year.
New Year's Day in the Juvenile as we go down to Nick Luck in the winner's circle with the presentation. New Year's Day, the winner. Nick, no U2 references, please.
I'm not cool enough for that, Lafitte. You should know that by now. New Year's Day and Bobby Flay got a nice ring to it. Bobby Flay, Breeders' Cup ambassador and celebrity chef, of course, here to present the trophy to the winning owners, Gary and Mary West, for the 2013 edition of the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. Bobby.
Thank you so much. Mr. and Mrs. West, congratulations. Martin Garcia, and of course the Bafferts. Great job, Bob. On behalf of the Breeders' Cup, I present this award to you. Congratulations, guys.
New Year's Day. Thank you very much.
Gary, you've had horses in training all around the United States of America. You've come to Bob Baffert and he gives you a Breeders' Cup winner. Just tell us what this experience is like.
It's pretty special. Bob started training for us about 2 years ago, and we've had a lot of success with him. He's done just a fabulous job with our horses, and this is our greatest accomplishment in horse racing, and we're just about as excited as you can get.
When you come into racehorse ownership, is it a Breeders' Cup or the Triple Crown that you dream of?
Any of the above would be just fine. This is pretty special. Now we've got something to look forward to for the 3-year-old races.
Mrs. West, first Saturday in May is now going to be a very important date in your diary.
Yes, it is. It's also our anniversary.
What a way to celebrate your anniversary than a win in the Run for the Roses at Churchill Downs. Very many congratulations to you both. New Year's Day wins the Breeders' Cup Juvenile for the Wests and the Baffords. Defeat.
Wow. Anniversary the first Saturday in May for Gary and Mary West. Why not? We watched Brian Hernandez win the Breeders' Cup Classic last year on his birthday. Something about those omens in racing. Bob Baffert, Jill Baffert embrace a bittersweet Breeders' Cup Saturday at Santa Anita, but a champion perhaps in this victory by New Year's Day in the 30th Breeders' Cup Juvenile.
And coming up next will be the Breeders' Cup Turf. Breeders' Cup Turf with that $3 million purse as they go 1.5 miles on the grass course here at Santa Anita, beginning downhill and then finishing, of course, at the regular finish line. And the Fugue is the 7-5 favorite at the moment, with Little Mike, the defending champion, at 4-1 and Point of Entry at 5-1. So 7-5 is the Fugue, and the Fugue is the favorite. Should be a good race. It's the Breeders' Cup Turf. It'll be up next. We've got a lot more remaining from beautiful Santa Anita. The gathering in the paddock for the $3 million Breeders' Cup Turf.
And now here's Zenyatta, and let's see, Zenyatta got a lot of ground to make up.
It's just brilliant. She was able to find a way out.
Zenyatta's come to the outside. Zenyatta coming flying on the grandstand side. This is unbelievable. Zenyatta.
To be a part of Zenyatta, you were certainly being a part of greatness. So I was just so blessed that I was her pilot.
What a performance, one we'll never forget.
One of the great moments in Breeders' Cup history before her adoring fans here at Santa Anita. What a spectacle that was, and what a call by Trevor Denman in the 2009 Classic. Now let's go to Billy Bush from Access Hollywood. Billy.
Tom, thank you very much. Beautiful view here. We're right in the shade. I've got John Elway with me right now. Before we talk about the races, John, obviously there's been some news about your head coach, John Fox, playing golf this morning in Charlotte, not feeling so well and went to the hospital. What can you tell us?
Well, I think he's doing fine, and they have determined that it was not a heart attack. and putting him through some tests now, and we think he's going to be okay. But he appreciates all the thoughts and phone calls and everyone's giving to him, and my thoughts and prayers go out to him right now too. So hopefully everything's going to be okay.
And you spoke to his wife, and she's okay, and
she's doing well too. Obviously a little shaken, which we all would be, but she seems to be doing fine too.
All right, our thoughts and prayers are with John. Here we are at Santa Anita. How are you doing, by the way? I got a lot of tickets on here. Have they yielded anything?
Well, not too bad. Let's put it that way. I'm 1 for 3, so I guess that's okay in this business.
Awesome stuff. Are you ready? Sunday Night Football just flexed. You've got the Chiefs and the Broncos in Denver, November 17th. That is a big one.
It really is. We've got some work to do before that. We got San Diego the week before that, so hopefully the Chargers are playing good football. But then obviously with the Chiefs coming in where they are and where we are, and to come into Denver, it's going to be an exciting time. And to move back to the Sunday night slot, we're excited about it.
Hey, it's on like Donkey Kong. Good luck on the track here. Appreciate it. We go to E! Entertainment's Kat Sadler now. Kat?
Thank you, Billy. I'm here with U.S. Olympic skier Bodie Miller, who I have to say, looking sharp there in your fedora today, Bodie.
Thank you. I'm matching my son. He dressed me, so I didn't have much choice in it.
Fantastic. A lot of people may not realize your love of horse racing. When did the love affair begin?
My grandmother used to put on her pearls and her best dress on Sunday in May. Or Saturday in May, and get us out there and watching the Derby when I was a little kid. So I suppose it started then, but in the last 12 or 13 years, I've kind of, I go to the Derby each year, and I come to all the big races when I can fit them in, and been trying to figure things out.
What makes the Breeders' Cup in particular so very special?
I mean, it's just the most elite level horses that you can find in the world, I think. I mean, everybody's pulling out all the stops, trying to peak their horses for these races and trying to really make the best decisions they can. You don't ever race a horse over their head, but here everyone's really pushing the limits of what they can get out of their horses. So, I mean, the prize money is so big that everybody's trying to milk everything out of their horse they can get.
Sochi's just around the corner. How you feeling?
I feel good right now, but it's still a long ways away. We were thinking about it. It's 100 days is still a lot of time, but right now I feel great, and I'm pretty old, but I'm getting ready.
Good luck at the games. Good luck today. Bob, over to you. Tom.
All right, Kat, and a lot of familiar faces, a lot of celebrities, of course, especially here in Southern California, coming out for the big day of races, Breeders' Cup Day 2, the 30th edition of the Breeders' Cup. And up next, the Breeders' Cup Turf, as you see the current odds with the Fugue, The filly trying to beat the boys comes from Europe. She's 3-2. Point of entry, second last year, is 4-1. And Little Mike, the defending champion, currently at 4.5-1, 9-2 on Little Mike. So the Fugue, the filly, is the favorite at the moment.
Little Mike's hanging tough. Trailblazer up alongside. Little Mike all heart, he's kicking on. Down the centre, St. Nicholas Abbey. Little Mike in front though. And Little Mike in an upset.
Ramon, this time last year you were gearing up to one of the biggest days in sports. It culminated with a win on the turf with Little Mike.
Hey Austin, how are you doing, man? Good.
We fast forward a year later, you're walking, thank God, but you have a different mission.
¿Cómo estás? Bien, gracias. ¿Cómo estás, campeón?
Maybe one you didn't realize was quite as important as you do now.
It's quite a change from last year to now. Having said that, I choose not to look at the glass half empty, so to speak. I'm very fortunate and happy to be here in Santa Anita today, and looking forward to watch the Breeders' Cup.
Ramon Dominguez, first of all, absolutely a brilliant rider, if not the best rider in the country.
Ramon Dominguez, he wins a record-tying 6th here at Saratoga.
When you say the word class, his name should be underneath because he's truly one of the most beautiful guys you'll ever meet.
I was very excited with my year, and towards the end of the year, you realize that you have a chance to win an Eclipse Award. The day before the ceremony, I had an accident.
Oh, stumbling there, and unseating the rider was number 3, Convocation.
He had some pretty bad head injuries, bad enough to where the doctors feel that, you know, even a slight blow to his head could really, really hurt him. They thought it was in the best interest that he just not ride again.
I don't have any recollection at all, not the race that day or 2 weeks after.
We're here to accept the trophy on behalf of Ramon Dominguez. We have it in our prayers, and hopefully he'll be back soon to be in competition with us.
I had mixed feelings watching the replay of the ceremony. It was great to know that I won the Eclipse Award, but at the same time realizing that I wasn't going to be riding any longer. I'm happy that I'm doing well, I'm walking, and it was a great year, and I'm just gonna turn the page and move to the next chapter. Mike, how are you doing?
You okay?
How are you? Mike is an amazing rider, and
how you guys doing? Good.
He will do as well or better with Little Mike without any advice from me.
And so I'm going to put my hands just like he does. I'm going to do the same thing because I know how you do your hands, you know. It is going to be different, I mean, because he always at least had 5, 6, 7, maybe 8, 9, 10 mounts, you know, so it's going to be different, you know, but at least he's going to be here and we get to see him. I think it'd be even extra special to win for all of us. Yeah, even Ramon, you know, I think it'd be pretty special. I'm going to do our best. I'm going to do my best Ramon Dominguez imitation that I can possibly do. Is that not an omen or what?
I was saying hello to the guy. And
that was Little Mike that just walked by.
Of course, I remember when he...
Oh, wow. Well, that is Shug's way, isn't it? Let the horse tell me when he's ready and if he's ready. And we'll see if it pays off here after finishing second last year, if he can come back and win this one. It is Little Mike, the defending champion. The Fugue is the favorite. Here's Larry Colmus with the call.
All right, Tom, Real Solution is in. They're all in line for this 1.5 mile turf. They're off in the Breeders' Cup turf. Antiques North and Little Mike had the best beginnings. These two are out for the lead together, and Tale of a Champion came away running in third position. Then to the outside, it's Real Solution in fourth, Vagabond Shoes. And Vagabond Shoes running a big one in between horses. Real Solution, point of entry, is closing on the outside. They're into the stretch, and Little Mike cuts the corner. The Fugue, Vagabond Shoes in between horses. Right behind them, Indy Point. Magician is trying to come late. It's the Fugue in front, close to home. On the far outside, Magician with a late bid, and Magician runs down the Fugue. Indy Point was third. Point of entry was fourth. The Fugue looked good in mid-stretch, but it took some magic to beat her. Magician and Ryan Moore did it.
So the Irish-bred 3-year-old colt, trained by Aidan O'Brien. He won a classic race in Ireland, the Irish 2000 Guineas, and shows that he can come across the pond and beat the best the world has to offer in the Breeders' Cup turf. It appeared the Fugue was home, and then here comes Magician charging on the outside under jockey Ryan Moore.
Ryan Moore getting his 3rd win in this race. Trainer Aidan O'Brien getting his 4th win in this race. Masterfully ridden from the back. I think he played off what Buick was doing on the Fugue. He set back a little farther. The Fugue with William Buick moved up down the backside a notch or two. Looked like it was a pretty good move. Then she got aggressive. She actually made the lead a lot sooner than he would have liked, William Buick. But Ryan Moore on the Magician just sat back there, bided his time, was almost anonymous through the early part of the race. Nobody was tracking him. Brilliant move, and it turned out right.
Yeah, we'll turn him around.
Let's go to Donna Brothers.
Brian, what a run from Magician today. Your 2nd win on the day. Talk to me about the run he came with.
He's a very talented horse. I rode him at the start of the year, and you know, he was a little bit babyish and a bit immature, but then he came out and won an Irish Guineas, and he had a problem, and you know, it's a massive you know, a lot of credit's got to go to the horse, and obviously the staff home to get this horse.
Yeah, any concerns that he wouldn't be ready after that 5-month layoff?
Well, not with this operation, but you know, it's for an inexperienced horse to come around here. He's only been here a couple of days, and you know, he showed he has an awful lot of class.
Congratulations. A subdued Ryan Moore. Let's go to Kenny Rice.
All right, thank you. The magic act continues over here with the outstanding trainer, Aidan O'Brien. Congratulations on the victory. Your thoughts as they were coming for home. Did you think there was enough left?
Sure, obviously was afraid, Kenny. Like, Ryan gave him a wonderful ride, and listen, it's a big well done to Seamus, who rides him work every day, Laura, who rides him out, Damien, and everyone is involved with him. And listen, for the lads, for letting them move up and trip. Listen, I was afraid that, listen, maybe 1.5 miles was too far. He's a horse that always showed a lot of speed. So, like, to Michael and Dorian and John and Sue and Derek and Gay, they made the decision to move him up. So, listen, grateful to be here and delighted.
I saw your telephone call from Michael Tabor, and you said, hey, good move to increase the distance.
Yeah, no, so Michael said to move him up, and like, obviously he felt that he would get the trip well, so it was great, Kenny.
Congratulations, eh?
Tom, the 2013 running of the Breeders' Cup Turf, $3 million Breeders' Cup Turf, has been won by Magician, owned by Sue Magner, by Derek Smith, and by Michael Tabor. Here to receive the trophies, the son of the winning owner, J.P. Magner, and son of Derek Smith, Paul Smith. And here to present on my left, renowned personality in these parts, Rob Dyrdek, with his star shows Ridiculousness and Fantasy Factory. And to my right, Maz Zahari, the president and chief executive officer of La Ligue. Maz.
Well, had a great race. Congratulations on behalf of La Ligue.
Paul Smith, it's been a wonderful, wonderful fortnight for you. You had a grade 1 winner back in England just last week. How does this compare, Magician doing the business for Ballydoyle?
Oh, this is absolutely fantastic. He's been a great horse for us over in Europe, and it was great to come over here and showcase his talents on a wonderful world stage. We're absolutely delighted.
Ryan Moore paid tribute to the training skills of Aidan O'Brien to bring him back off that layoff. Is this his finest Breeders' Cup training performance, do you think?
This is a great training performance. You know, it had him absolutely spot on for the day, and it was just a fabulous ride.
How confident are you ahead of declaration of war in the Classic, Paul?
Well, we're very hopeful. We're very hopeful. He's in very good shape, and we're just delighted to get a winner under our belt.
Many congratulations, Paul Smith, J.P. Magner, the O'Brien family, J.P. McManus. Thank you to the presenters. Magician casts a spell, a beguiling 1-2 in the Breeders' Cup Turf. Tom Hammond.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time we ask you to please rise for the presentation of the American flag by members of the Armed Forces and the Los Angeles County servicemen and women. And to sing our national anthem, please welcome 6-time Granny Award winner Tony Braxton.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed, now the twilight's last gleaming, but stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watch, we're so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Tony Braxton with the national anthem at the 30th Breeders' Cup with the Stars and Stripes stretched across the track here at Santa Anita.
Here with a beautiful view and a beautiful woman. Oh my Lord, Bo Derek, how are you?
Good, thank you.
You look stunning.
Thank you.
But you always look stunning.
Well, you're looking mighty fine in peach yourself.
Why, thank you. I thought it was salmon. Now, moments ago, Aidan O'Brien won, a friend of yours.
Well, I mean, I know him. I admire his horsemanship so much, and this is an international competition, so I do want the international horses to win also, because otherwise they won't come back.
You own 5 horses. You love horses. That's well known. Are you a bettor on horses?
Oh, sentimental bets. I bet for the trainers I like, the jockeys I ride, I like, the bloodlines, friends, but don't ask me for a winning bet.
Bo, you don't need this credential that's on you because you have the star. The star. What does the star mean? It's very official.
It means I'm a commissioner on the California Horse Racing Board, and that's usually what people call me here. Commissioner Derek or Madam Commissioner.
Madam Commissioner Derek, you can go wherever you want. If you wanted to walk out on the dirt right now, could you?
Yes, I could.
You're powerful. You're beautiful. Thanks for spending time with me. I love our table for 2. Over to Kat Sadler. Kat?
Thank you, Billy. Look who brought the rock and roll to today's event. Richie Sambora, how are you?
What's up? I'm doing very well. Thank you very much.
Looking fly. Now, you are a very...
You're looking fly.
Thank you. Very important part of today's festivities. You're actually playing the call to post on your guitar. How did this happen? This is historical.
First time in history.
Yeah.
We're breaking tradition here, man. I mean, it's obviously been done by the Bugle for hundreds and hundreds of years, and they asked me to do it, and I was just very, very happy to do it. I didn't feel that it was inappropriate or anything like that because I've been a part of horse racing for a long time.
Absolutely. You're not putting any buglers out of business, though. We're not worried about that.
I don't care about that.
What is your absolute favorite thing about the Breeders' Cup?
Well, number one, every race is a championship. You know, so every race that goes down is as a championship. You know, and like I said, my dad and I used to go to the track when I was a kid, and it was a very, very family bonding thing between a father and son. And then I ended up owning a couple racehorses. I won once, I lost most of the time, but I had a really good time doing it. And, you know, so I continue to come to the track and enjoy myself. And you know what? Quite frankly, I mean, it's glamorous. All you girls go out and get your best stuff out of the closet. And, you know, us guys get a chance to come and look at you and get these amazing athletes and horses run and bet. I mean, it's pretty masculine.
You're betting, man, before we let you go. Who you betting on?
Fire and Ice in the 11th.
Fire and Ice,
Fire and Ice in the 11th.
All right.
Running against Wild Dan. It's going to be a very close race.
Good luck. Good luck, my friend. Thank you so much,
Thank
Tom.
you, Kat.
Over to you, my friend.
All right, Kat, or maybe Wise Dan, as hope you and Billy are enjoying your day at the races here at Breeders' Cup 30. And the next race will be the Express Bet Breeders' Cup Sprint. 6 furlongs is the dominant distance in American thoroughbred racing, and this will be a 6-furlong dash. Secret Circle, the 8-5 favorite. Private Zone at 9-2, and Justin Phillip at 5-1. The top 3 choices in our next race, the Sprint. So it's unanimous. Secret Circle is the pick of Mike and Bob as we look at Private Zone and Martin Pedroza. So Secret Circle at 2-1, Private Zone 4-1, and Justin Phillip is at 5-1. As they're loading into the starting gate, there's a look at Laugh Track with Mike Smith. And for the call of the Sprint, here's Larry Colmus.
Speed, speed, and more speed. That's what this one's about, Tom, as 12 of them line up for the start. Laugh Track Mike Smith looking for Breeders' Cup win number 21. Coming up to the outside stall, goes in, and they're all in line, ready for the start. They're off in the Breeders' Cup Sprint. Some of the Parts goes out to take the early lead, and right alongside is Fast Bullet. These two with early speed, and Private Zone is in between horses. Secret Circle is there fourth on the outside. Gentleman's Bet and Majestic Strider close up two. Then it's Wine Police. Trinneberg is racing 5 lengths off the lead. And then Bahamian Squall, the lumber guy, to the inside. 3 lengths more back to Laugh Track, who's just ahead of Justin Phillip, the trailer. 21-1 for the opening quarter mile, rocketing into the turn, and Gentleman's Bet got through on the rail and is now the leader by a neck. Some of the Parts is alongside in second. Fast Bullet is just outside of them. Wine Police on the far outside. Private Zone is ridden along in fifth behind them. Secret Circle is getting a wide trip, and Majestic Stride cuts the corner. They're into the stretch, and Gentleman's Bet has the rail in the lead. Some of the Parts, Wine Police, Secret Circle is closing on the far outside. Majestic Stride is coming up the rail. Gentleman's Bet on the inside. Secret Circle has gone by, and late run from Laugh Track, but Secret Circle has done it! That Laugh Track closed between Majestic Stride and Gentleman's Bet.
So Bob Baffert and Martin Garcia win their second of the day with Secret Circle. Secret Circle out of action since he was injured in the Arkansas Derby on the Triple Crown Trail in 2012. Had only started once since then, but it was a win, a fast allowance win here at Santa Anita. He obviously was primed today.
It's so hard to win this race gate to wire because there's so much speed. We mentioned how supersonic it was. And it's so hard to win from coming back because of the traffic. Number one, Justin Phillip had all kinds of problems through the stretch. So what you want is a horse that has a lot of speed but can rate a little bit, which is exactly what Secret Circle did. He was about 2 or 3 lengths off the lead down the backside, perfect position. And when the speed collapsed because of the speed they were going early, Secret Circle inherited the lead and just galloped in.
This horse is so good that Bob Baffert basically had to call an audible. When he brought him back off that long layoff, he picked an allowance race to bring him back in with no intention whatsoever of the Breeders' Cup Sprint. But the horse was so impressive in that race and came out of it so well. As you see Mike Pegram, the co-owner there as well. He said, I need to run this horse in the sprint. And look at what happens. There's Bodie, too, little Bodie Baffert.
Bodie, Jill, and Bob Baffert, the 4th sprint victory for Bob Baffert as we go to Donna.
Well, Tom, after Martin Garcia won the Juvenile, you told me that was your first Breeders' Cup win, but you hoped it opened the floodgates, and here you are again very quickly. Congratulations. Talk to me about this horse's big run through the stretch.
Well, you know what? He's showing a lot of speed, but today was all speed, and then he braked really sharp. Everybody's saying then I be able to take him back and save little bit ground the first turn, and then in the second turn it was time to go. The horse in front of me stopped.
There was only one turn, Martin. He's excited.
The 3As, and then I move out and then take off.
So you had a plan to go ahead and let the really fast speed horses go and just stock that pace?
Well, like I said, he have a lot of speed, and then everybody's saying, and then I be able to take him back, save ground, and then let's go.
Congratulations. And Tom, I got to tell you just a little side note. The groom for Secret Circle is a guy named Java who's been with Bob Baffert for a very long time. He's also the groom for this pony I'm riding. So a very good day for Java today.
Sunny is the pony horse that Donna is riding today. As Martin Garcia, and who can blame him for being excited? Secret Circle, trained by Bob Baffert, who's with Kenny Rice.
All right, thank you very much, Tom. Well, nice comeback today with Secret Circle.
Well, this horse, you know, we gave him a lot of time, but he doesn't like to lose this horse. He's such a good horse, and when I ran him off the layoff, I forgot how really fast he was, and taking a chance to run him back, but this guy is a lucky son of a gun right here. This is where it comes from, right here. Indiana luck, that's what it is.
Indiana luck. This is Mike Pegram, and together they teamed up for their first Breeders' Cup victory over 20 years ago with 30 slews in this sprint. This has been a good race for you.
30 years. It seems
20,
like
20 years.
Was it 30 or 20?
I think it's 20.
Oh, that's right, 20. I'm
You're
getting
not
so
that
old.
old. You're not that old.
No, I was thinking 30 years. But you know what? The thing is about it, is that it's the Breeders' Cup Sprint that got me in the business, thinking, you know, I'm going to leave quarter horses, maybe I could win a sprint. And I just feel fortunate. When you have horses like this, he's a great horse.
Congratulations. It's been 22 years, by the way, Mike. Congratulations.
Seems like yesterday. You know, I hooked my wagon to the right star, and it keeps on paying.
Well, they keep going to the winner's circle, Tom. Bob Baffert and Mike Pegram.
They've had a great partnership over the years. Secret Circle, 4-year-old colt by Eddington out of Ragtime Hope by Dixieland Band. Bred in Kentucky by Wilmot Stables. Here's how he did it. It is Breeders' Cup 30, and the sprint has just been concluded. Let's go to the winner's circle for the presentation, and Lafitte Pinkai.
All right, Tom, here with Ron Mileski, the president of Express Bet, handing over the hardware for this Breeders' Cup Sprint. Carl Watson, the winning owner, also Mike Pegram, Bob Baffert, Martin Garcia, second Breeders' Cup wins on the afternoon. Ron?
Paul, on behalf of Frank Stronach, the Stronach Racing Group, and Express Bet, congratulations on a great win.
Thank you very much.
What does this mean in terms of Secret Circle? All the time off, a Breeders' Cup winner 2 years ago, coming all the way back and winning a race on this stage.
Well, it means a lot. Carl and Mike and I are just so thrilled that after that long a layoff, Bobby has done a really good job of getting him ready. One race and we're here. So we're very thrilled about it.
After the first win in the Breeders' Cup and after all the time off, did you think that he was good enough to recover and get back to his top form?
I thought he was good enough to recover, but I can't honestly say that I thought he would be where we are today. And that's why I give Bobby a lot of credit for getting him ready this soon.
Congratulations, everyone involved. Secret Circle, a victory in the Breeders' Cup Sprint for Bob Baffert. That is 4 overall wins in the sprint. Midnight Loot twice, 30 slews, and now Secret Circle.
All right, so one more race here before the Classic, and that will be the Breeders' Cup Mile. 3-year-olds and up at a mile. $2 million is the purse, a mile on the turf, and of course the reigning horse of the year, Wise Dan, is in the field, and he is currently the 4-5 favorite. Olympic Glory, a distant second choice, held at 5-1. So the fans think Wise Dan can do it again.
All right, thanks, Bob. You know, sometimes at a certain age we get on a computer and we may let it, well, we may just not finish it up. That was the case with Mark Bacon a couple of years ago. He was registering with the Jockey Club to name this horse. So you turn it off, you wake up the next day and you find out the Jockey Club's accepted the name Silver Max, but you didn't send it in.
I certainly didn't. It was my son Max was 8 years old at the time. I opened the computer, got on the Jockey Club website to name him, and I just walked away, and 3 days later we got a letter in the mail that he was named. I was a bit nervous opening up the letter, but he did a really good job.
That was very impressive. And Max, who's now 11 years old, you didn't forget your little sister Olivia here. You also named a filly for her. What's the name?
Olivia B.
You like that name?
Yes.
Okay, so at least he's a good older brother, isn't he?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right, good luck today, Silver Max, who defeated Wise Dan the last time out and was named by Max Bacon here. Let's go to Mike Battaglia.
All right, Kenny. Well, I just talked to trainer Charlie Lopresti. I asked him about the rider change. Doesn't bother him a bit. He said, sure, he'd like to have Velasquez, Jose Lezcano, a perfect replacement. He's ridden him before. I asked him, is he as good now as he was last year? He said, I think he is. How confident are you? Very confident. I think he'll win. I also asked him about the poly track last time. He said, this horse likes the poly track. It really wasn't the poly track. It was the water standing on the top of the poly track. He just didn't seem to handle it as well. He's going to be very glad to get back to the turf, and Charlie Lopresti is very confident, Tom, in Wise Dan's chances for a repeat.
All right, so Wise Dan, the reigning horse of the year, lost his last race, the Shadwell Turf Mile, which because of heavy rain was taken off the turf course and onto the poly track at Keeneland. And you heard Mike say it rained so much there was water even standing on top of the poly track, which is always fast. Can Wise Dan come back to win again in the Breeders' Cup Mile?
One more race to go, the mile, before we get to the Classic. I'm Billy Bush in the paddock, and just yesterday I got a chance to slip into the inner sanctum here of Santa Anita, where the legends prepare, they celebrate, and most importantly, they shower. Welcome to the Jockey's Room. Joining us for the ride, veteran jockey Aaron Greider. Here we go.
All right, so this is where it all starts. Before and after every race, we weigh in with our saddle and all our equipment, so.
All right, how much do I have to weigh here to be a jockey?
About 120. We can't come in and underweight. That's not gonna be a problem for you.
I'm way over. Yeah, too bad. The guys are all lounging around, hanging out. This is their place. I hope we,
yeah.
Right? Here's a guy reading on the couch over here, hanging out. That's the equicizer?
This is the equicizer, and it's supposed to simulate a horse's action.
I'm gonna go for the big mount, if you don't mind. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I would be a horrible jockey.
No.
And we're going down the stretch. We're going down the stretch. We're going down the stretch. Come on, buddy. Come on. Come on. Come on. This is tiring, man. You gotta work your knees here. Whew. Everything's kind of come to a hush here in the jockey room because it's the distaff race, the $2 million race, a huge race. Here they go. Here they go. Gary Stevens has made a move on Velasquez. Gary's in first place.
Look at that.
Holder in first.
Sitting there waiting for it right now. Wow. Very impressive.
Gary Stevens with a big win. That was like 3-4 lengths right there. Silk room.
It's pretty cool. There's thousands of silks in here, and we don't get to choose what we wear. It's designed by each owner for every horse that I ride. So we change. If I ride 8 horses, there'll be 8 different ones hanging on my locker, and each race I pull them off, and my owners dress me.
You have no choice. If your owner says you're wearing the little bird, you're wearing the bird.
So this is our kitchen. This is our man, Sal. They don't like my food. Sal takes care of everybody here. Sal, how are you? Let me take a look at the little... Not the jalapenos. No, watch it. Oh, the good ones. Want to try one of those?
Oh, Sal. Oh, Sal. I know what those are.
It's okay. They eat it. No, I got water.
Oh.
About 30 seconds.
Oh, yeah. Slow burn. Slow burn. Comes out. Ha, ha. You have any milk? Maybe milk is better than water. I will never eat one of those again. All right, baby. Bingo. Oh, wait. After that chili bean and after my workout.
You just lost 36 pounds.
148. Hey, Sal, give me more of those chili beans. I almost burned my face off. Those chili beans do go into the salsa, though, and in Southern California, you will not find, maybe in the world, a better salsa, and I know you love salsa, Tom.
Well, I'll tell you what, Billy, Jerry Bailey was critiquing you on the equicizer, and it was not pretty.
Ladies and gentlemen, we now direct your attention down to the winner's circle for a very special rendition of the Call to the Post by American rock icon Richie Sambora.
I kind of like that. That's a first.
That's cool.
Yeah. Wise Dan in the colors of owner Morton Fink. 7 horse. He be Fire and Ice. Kenny?
Hey, Tom, I just talked to Ron Perry, the owner of He Be Fire and Ice, the 7 horse. This horse was out all last year with a torn ligament. He's come back this year to win 4 times. So his owner said this is a reward. He put up a $100,000 supplement, hoping that He Be Fire and Ice will become the first California bred to win this race.
And here is the horse of the year, Wise Dan, number 8, into the starting gate. And for the call of the mile, let's go to Larry Colmus.
All right, Tom, here's Olympic Glory. It's been Europe so far. We'll see if they can do it again with Olympic Glory, who goes into line. One more ZA approval will be the last one to load. Here we go, all in line. They're off in the Breeders' Cup Mile. Wise Dan stumbled just a bit coming out of the gate. And Silver Max goes out to take the early lead. And there goes obviously after him. And Bright Thought is right with the leaders 2 and 3. Into the turn they go. And obviously continues to lead the way. Taken on by Silver Max on the outside. ZA Approval moves up into 3rd. No Jet Lag is 4th. Wise Dan has had this hot pace in front of him. He's 4 lengths behind. Olympic Glory is under a drive, and they're into the stretch. Obviously, ZA Approval comes after him. Wise Dan's in the center of the course. Silencio is coming on too, but here's Wise Dan alongside of ZA Approval. Silencio coming up the fence. Wise Dan fourth, possibly Silvermax. The final time was 1 minute 32.47 seconds. Wise Dan did it again.
Wow, Wise Dan making a bid for his second straight Horse of the Year title after winning the mile for the second straight year. Running down after that fast early pace, running down the early pace setters with Jose Lezcano picking up the mount from John Velasquez, who was injured earlier today, and riding him perfectly to victory in the mile.
What a gamer. What a gamer. Further back early. Now the pace was really, really hot, so you expect, but I thought he was further back than a guy like Velasquez would have placed him. It kind of surprised me. His jockey, Jose Lezcano, looked like he was niggling him on him, asking him a little bit down the backside. He started to pick up horses, started to go around, and then Lezcano decided, I can't go around all these horses and win, so he tucked him back in a little bit, waited until he turned for home, and then angled out. Really a gritty performance.
Well, you say a gamer. This horse is now 19 for 27 lifetime. On the grass, he's only lost once in his life. 11 wins in 12 starts. He, of course, bounces back from that loss that broke a long winning streak last time at Keeneland, and he puts himself, as you said, Tom, right back in the thick of the Horse of the Year conversation.
And you see Donna pulling alongside. Donna?
Jose Lezcano has a smile on his face. Jose, these aren't the kind of circumstances in which you wanted to get your third Breeders' Cup win, but it is what it is. Let's talk about Wise Dan and that terrific run today.
Yeah, sorry about Johnny family or his family people. Well, he breaks his tumble of the gate very bad, you know. This time went too far back, you know. After that little chatter, you know, going his feet, you know.
Larry Colmus called it when he stumbled out of the gate. Did that give you concern right away?
No, yeah, you know, sometimes, you know, like when the horse tumble out of the gate, you have to go to plan B, you know.
Yeah. So he went to plan B, which was?
Let him go and see his try, you know, go comfortable, you know, and try in the finish the race, you know.
Jerry Bailey talked about watching the replay. He said going into the turn, it looked like he thought about going around and then decided to tuck him back in.
No, you know, he's jumping the B, you know, and I try to take it back, but he's a little tough, you know, and I try to take it back.
So he was thinking about going around.
You think I don't want to go early, that early, you know.
So Jose put him back in there to relax and wait, and it was very effective, Tom Hammond.
Was indeed, as Wise Dan, back-to-back mile victories. He now has the fastest and fourth fastest mile races in history. And despite all that stumbling at the start, there's the winner's circle scene after the Breeders' Cup mile won by Wise Dan for the second consecutive year. And coming up next, of course, will be the Breeders' Cup Classic. Check of the odds there. The pressure now on Game On Dude. He needs a win, or maybe Wise Dan is going to be Horse of the Year again. That's all coming up prime time on NBC. So Wise Dan missing from that winner's circle shot. John Velasquez injured earlier today, replaced by Jose Lezcano, but no doubt a smile on his face. He's so attached to Wise.
NBC Sports, home of racing's biggest events, proudly presents the Breeders' Cup World Championships.
You know, they say horse racing's a lot like life. In both, you always want to be close to the action. Don't you? Well, this is where the action lives. For one weekend every year, in a way it doesn't anywhere else, anytime else. This is what the action looks like. What it sounds like.
They're off in the Breeders' Cup Classic.
What it feels like. For 30 years, everything about the competition, everything about the entertainment, it's all been proven to be, well, timeless.
And they're into the stretch.
The money doesn't get any bigger.
And they're up.
The names don't get any bolder.
The Breeders' Cup Classic.
The elation doesn't get any sweeter. This is the Breeders' Cup Classic, baby. This is where everyone wants to be.
They call Los Angeles the city of angels, and Hollywood the place where stars are made. And just a short drive east, set against the San Gabriel Mountains, there is a racetrack that some people will tell you is the most beautiful in the world. And it's certainly a familiar setting for the stars of thoroughbred racing. Here tonight at Santa Anita Park, the best racehorses in the world have come to compete for America's richest race, a $5 million purse at the 30th edition of this festival that merges big-time horses with big-time money and big-time stars. There is nothing in racing or sports or entertainment quite like it. This is the Breeders' Cup Classic.
And a look at the paddock here as the horses for the Classic gather. Let's meet the jockeys who will contest the Breeders' Cup Classic.
Javier Castellano, last count 5.
Martin Garcia, painter.
Ryan Moore, planter.
Joe Talamo, Moreno.
Joseph O'Brien, declaration of war.
Gary Stevens, Mucho Macho Man.
Brian Hernandez, Fort Larned.
Rafael Bejarano, Pales Males.
Mike Smith, Game On Dude. Luis Saez, Will Turchar. Joel Rosario, Flat Out.
The countdown is on to the classic everyone is eyeing, including, most of all, the white-haired legend who hopes this is finally his year. The lifer who's made the most of a second chance at life. And the man from down under eyeing a return trip to the winner's circle. The trainers looking for a big win at this, the Breeders' Cup Classic.
The barns of Santa Anita are filled with horses excited to take the big stage, but perhaps none more so than Bob Baffert's horse, Painter. He's trying to bite the hook off of the door. Okay, well, you know what?
That's why we keep him tied up all the time.
He is really ready to go, this guy. If he can focus this... By the way, saliva just slapped me in the face. Bob's other prized horse, Game On Dude, couldn't be more different, and for good reason. Is he just this nice all the time, or can I say that he likes me?
That's the difference when you're gelding. Your manhood is
Yeah.
taken away from you.
You become a little nicer. The horses of the Classic are finely tuned athletes, and as such, they are well tended to. That's right, horse massages. Behind every great horse here at the Breeders' Cup is a great trainer, a great jockey, and in the case of last year's runner-up, Mucho Macho Man, another horse. To know Mucho Macho Man, you gotta know Skinny Pete, because Skinny Pete is his +1, his wingman. Mucho goes on the road wherever they have to go for a race. Skinny Pete always goes with him. If you're a fan of Entourage, Skinny Pete is kind of like Turtle. He never races, he's just there. But Skinny Pete is not the only member of Mucho's entourage. He's also got a cowboy, an Indian, a construction worker, and you get the idea.
Mucho Macho Man. Ow. I've got to be a macho. You go, Mucho Macho Man.
Of all the competitors here, the hardest to track down are the Europeans. They're quarantined for 42 hours immediately upon arrival. Now over there is Plantour, horse with a French name, trained in England by an Italian. Sounds like a fascinating colt. I'd like to go say hello, but if I get within like 30 feet, a bunch of guys in hazmat suits will probably jump out and spray me down. That is what you'll do, right? You'll spray me down? Yeah. Ah! Dude! That was not the plan! I deserve it. Oh, look who's joined me now, Elizabeth Banks. Ever since Seabiscuit a horse fan, or way back before that?
You know, I grew up going to Saratoga Racetrack, a beautiful racetrack out in upstate New York, where I'm from, and that began my love, 10 years old. My dad started letting me bet at the window, with him, of course.
Really? How much?
When I was double digits.
Okay.
I think it just helped him feel like, you know, I was like a lucky charm or something. He's here with me today. And he's been going to the Breeders' Cup for, I don't know, 15 years or something.
A father-daughter thing.
Yeah, we love it.
Isn't that great? I remember you last year at the Classic saying, none of the favorites have won so far today, so I'm not going with the favorite. You didn't pick Game On Dude last year.
I didn't, and he was upset, so, you know, I didn't. I'm big on, you know, you gotta move your money around. You know,
Be smart. You gotta
I like
hedge.
to have a winning ticket. Everybody likes to have a winning ticket, so you bet a couple favorites just so you get that ticket in your hand. But if you actually want to, if you want to win at the races, you gotta look at some long shots.
Banks, it's in the name. Don't go far. We're gonna handicap this thing later on.
Okay.
Kat Sadler, over to you.
So we take you inside the starting gate for the Breeders' Cup Classic. And they'll be loading into line around 5:45 Pacific. Last gunfighter for Chad Brown, long shot at 20-1. Number 2 is Painter. What a miraculous story of a comeback for Bob Baffert. Plantour, the Irish gelding at 20-1. Moreno, quick 3-year-old, 15-1 on the morning line with Joe Talamo. Horses 5 through 8. They're coming. Declaration of War, the European, very dangerous for Aidan O'Brien's son Joseph, will be in the saddle. Number 6, Mucho Macho Man. Gary Stevens looking for his first classic. Number 7 is the defending champion Fort Larned, 6-1 on the morning line. Number 8, Palace Malice. We'll see about a rider, tentatively set to be ridden by John Velasquez. This is a field of 12 horses, 9 through 12. Game On Dude, 8-5 morning line favorite for Bob Baffert. Mike Smith in the saddle will take charge. Dwayne Lucas looking for his second win in the Classic. Ron the Greek is out. Impressive winner of the Jockey Club Gold Cup, and flat out with Joel Rosario, defeated favorite in the Classic 2 years ago.
All right, this is going to be exciting now. The Breeders' Cup Classic. If you were a betting man, your choice would be?
Bet is already made on Mucho Macho Man. Gary Stevens comes out of retirement to win the Preakness, comes right back to win the Classic.
I'm going to go with Moreno because one of my favorite football players is Noshan Moreno. So I'm going with Moreno. I have to have a connection. That's my connection.
I am going for Game On Dude. Trust me on this. Bet everything on it. Bet your house, bet your car, bet your wife.
My choice is Game On Dude.
My pick for the winning horse will you please fix the damn light like I asked you? Thank you. My pick for the winning horse is Will Take Charge. I have no idea why it appealed to me, but it did.
Declaration of war. I'm declaring war. I'm declaring war.
All right, and right now we're going to turn to our expert team of horse racing analysts led by a man who's been here for every one of the 30 Breeders' Cups. Happy anniversary to Tom Hammond.
All right, thank you, Billy. And the hair a good bit darker back in those days, but in those 30 years, the Breeders' Cup has established itself alongside the year-end championship events of other sports. And true to nearby Hollywood, the plot lines abound tonight. The defending champion is back. The hands on the favorite Fort Larned, the favorite from last year, Game On Dude, is back for his third chance at the Chattel in the Classic. The 3-year-old colts, a couple of them trying to establish their credentials here. And of course, 2 jockeys, 48 and 50 years of age, continue to amaze us. That, of course, would be Mike Smith and Gary Stevens.
Vicinity of Hollywood. So how about this for a movie pitch? Trainer Kathy Ritvo has a heart transplant. Then she finds the horse of a lifetime in Mucho Macho Man. They embark on a magnificent 3-year journey, but still have to win one more race to get to the Classic. Coming aboard for the ride, a 50-year-old jockey, Gary Stevens, himself with an amazing comeback going on. Would you buy this story? Well, it's all true. They've won and they're here. And this trio, in a matter of minutes, are hoping to find that perfect ending that you usually only see on the silver screen. Let's go to Bob Newmeyer.
Well, trainer Bob Baffert has 2 horses entered in this race. Of course, Tom mentioned the most celebrated is Game On Dude. He is the presumptive horse of the year. If he wins tonight, again, underline the word presumptive. But his other horse is the comebacking Painter, and what a courageous animal he is. He overcame a series of life-threatening illnesses. Some thought he would never make it. But Painter is alive and well. And if he wins, here's another Hollywood story. Producers will be lining up around the corner to make a film if the comebacking Painter wins this Classic. Here's Mike Battaglia.
All right, Newman. Well, one horse they're not talking about making a movie about is Fort Larned. As a matter of fact, he's getting no respect at all. He's the defending champ in this race. I just looked at the odds board, 13-1 up there on the odds board. And make no mistake about it, he ran a good race last year. Yeah, he benefited when Game On Dude stumbled, but he held off Mucho Macho Man. He won the race legitimately. He's coming off a nice prep at Churchill Downs. He won his jockey, Brian Hernandez, won it on his birthday last year. Today, the day before, it'd be a nice pre-birthday present for Brian Hernandez. Who knows? Maybe somebody can make a movie out of that, Lafitte.
Yeah, Mike, we also have two Europeans in the field, Plantour and Declaration of War. And the story of Declaration of War is a tale of father and son. Joseph O'Brien riding for his father, Aidan O'Brien, the trainer. Now, they have done this before, winning the turf a couple of years ago at Churchill Downs with St. Nicholas Abbey. However, their window of opportunity is closing. You see, Joseph is 20 years old and already 6 feet tall, so he's actually outgrowing his days as a jockey, which would make a victory today with Aidan O'Brien, his father, in the Classic that much sweeter. Tom?
All right, Lafitte, and of course the Classic brings together a collection of some of the best trainers in the business.
Hi, everyone. Billy Bush here at Santa Anita in prime time for the Breeders' Cup Classic, the 30th anniversary of an event that's as much spectacle as horse race. And what a day we have for it. About 80 degrees, a nice breeze. It is cool. That's great for the horses, the jockeys, and anyone in a coat and tie. With the park filled with bold-faced names and high rollers, it's on. For 2 days now, they've been enjoying the excitement and now get set for the biggest race of them all, the Classic. Like the Kentucky Derby, it's a 1.25 mile test. Though unlike the Triple Crown races, it's not just for 3-year-olds. The 11 horses in the field represent the best thoroughbreds, 3 and older. And as we look at the odds, the favorite for the second straight year is Game On Dude, the horse trained by Bob Baffert, whose trademark look, the white hair, the dark glasses, help him stand out just barely in this tremendous crowd here at Santa Anita. I asked Bob if anyone ever told him he looks like ex-49ers coach George Seifert. He says more than occasionally. It's been 30 years of tremendous crowds and tremendous races at this event. And with more on some of the contenders in the Classic, we go to Lafitte Pinkai III.
Yeah, Billy, the focus of this race is on the Hall of Fame jockeys, the wily vets, Hall of Famers Mike Smith and Gary Stevens, with a combined more than 55 years in the saddle. Mike Smith is on a tear at this Breeders' Cup. He is the all-time Breeders' Cup leading jockey. He's already won 3 races, and he will ride the favorite Game On Dude, 8-5 favorite on the morning line. And then you have Gary Stevens. He was retired for the last 7 years. He was working with us, decided to make a comeback in January. It's gone pretty well. He won the Preakness Stakes with Oxbow. Yesterday, he won the Breeders' Cup Distaff with Beholder. And now he'll try for his first ever victory in the Breeders' Cup Classic, riding the second choice and Mucho Macho Man. On another note regarding jockeys, kind of a rocky start. Hall of Famer John Velasquez. This was early in the day, the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies. He was involved in a spill, injured. He didn't ride the entire afternoon, and just to have surgery, had to have surgery to have his spleen removed. And adding insult to injury, he would have ridden Wise Dan, who just won the Breeders' Cup Mile. With more, we check in with E! Entertainment's Kat Sadler.
Thank you, Lafitte. I'm here in the Trophy Lounge where several celebrities have been spending their time today. And speaking of, one of the stars of today's festivities, Kristen Chenoweth, with a brand new short due.
No, it's gone.
It's super cute.
It's freeing.
You are setting trends.
I'm trying.
Talk to me about your upbringing. You're from Oklahoma. You grew up with horses. You must feel like you're at home here at the Breeders' Cup.
A little bit. We have a great park there, Remington Park, which I've been to. But this is quite the view that you and I are looking at today. It's been amazing to watch these beautiful animals.
It's spectacular, but you will be singing The Best Is Yet to Come. Any pre-performance jitters at all?
Yeah, I'm nervous. I've not performed this song before, but it's the Breeders' Cup song as well. It should be, and Cy Coleman wrote it, so I'm excited. I'm ready to put my stamp on it.
You are a pro. Break a leg. Over to you, Billy.
Thank you, Kat. We are just getting started here at Santa Anita. Lots more to come about the much anticipated race and the tremendous scene here on a perfect night in Southern California.
Who's our best chance, you think?
Don't tell anybody else this, but I would actually Game On Dude.
Okay, we won't tell anybody at all.
If you were a betting man,
behind my pick for the winning horse. Will you please fix that light?
The Classic and the Breeders' Cup Day, it's about as exciting as you want to get it.
Some familiar faces making their picks for the Classic. Look at that. Jerry O'Connell, John Elway. Look at these, both game on dude for Richie Sambora and John Lovitz, and Kristen Chenoweth game on dude. Well, they say the Breeders' Cup is where horse racing meets Hollywood. Well, while a lot of stars have filled the stands tonight, there are none bigger than the horses themselves, and I had a chance to meet some of the contenders of this year's Classic.
And let's take a visit now with our handicappers +1.
Oh, yes, 3 men and a lady here. Elizabeth Banks, you're first. Who do you have in the class?
I got Mucho Macho Man being ridden by my friend Gary Stevens. Great horse, great jockey, winning combination.
All right, Mike.
I've got to agree
well,
with
not
Elizabeth.
yet. I'm going to go first, Mike. Wait, I got to go first. I got to get this out. It's Will Take Charge. I believe in it. He's the biggest horse out there. And D. Wayne Lucas. You
changed your mind.
I did. I told you.
That's all right.
Wayne Lucas is as big as his horse, big personality. I got Will Take Charge. I got to do it, Mike.
Macho Man.
Yeah.
I like the Gary Stevens angle. He's been so hot lately, and this horse was second last year. I think he can do it. I think he can come just off the pace here.
You haven't mentioned the winner.
Oh.
Game on, dude. 7 of his last 8. Mike Smith, Bob Baffert, home track, speed bias, love the angles.
It's a nice pitch, but it's too late to change our minds here. Tom Hammond, back to you.
All right, Billy, so the handicappers and the guests all over the board here for the Classic. Maybe that's the way the bettors are as well, although Game On Dude is still the 9-5 favorite. Mucho Macho Man 7-2. Declaration of War is at 6-1. And you don't have a favorite horse? Well, pick a jockey. These are the best in the world.
Still to come, the richest race of the year, featuring big-name jockeys out for big-time money. The 50-year-old comeback kid.
Gary Stevens to win the Preakness.
The rider happy to be back aboard his favorite dude.
This year, the dude is on.
The defending champ, back for more of the same. At the Breeders' Cup Classic, where all the action lives.
2 more to go into the gate. Will Take Charge has taken his spot, and here's Flat Out up to the outside stall, and they're all in line for America's richest horse race. They're off in the Breeders' Cup Classic. And Game On Dude had a good start this year. He is up and on the pace. Moreno's fast early, and Mucho Macho Man and Fort Larned are close too. Then it's Declaration of War, Painter, Punter Will Take Charge on the far outside. Palace Malice Flat Out, and Last Gunfighter as they go by us the first time. And Moreno is the leader, and Fort Larned and Game On Dude are right alongside. And they ran the first quarter in 23 and 2/5 seconds. It's a decent pace, and these 3 are across the track into the clubhouse turn. And then it's Declaration of War just to the inside of Mucho Macho Man, who's in 5th. 3 lengths to make up for Mucho Macho Man. Then Punter to the outside of Painter. Palace Malice Will Take Charge is only 5 lengths off the lead. The pace appears to be slowing, and the pack is closing in. Flat Out is next, and Last Gunfighter's only 10 from the top as they run up the backstretch of 46 1/2 mile. Fort Larned, last year's winner, on top on the outside of Moreno. Mike Smith and the Dude, 3rd on the outside. Then Declaration of War and Mucho Macho Man Will Take Charge. Punter between horses. Painter is on the rail, 5 lengths off the lead. Palace Malice and Flat Out are next, and Last Gunfighter is the trailer. And they went 3/4 of a mile in 1:10-1. And Fort Larned is the leader. And Game On Dude and Mucho Macho Man are alongside. And Palace Malice comes on too. Declaration of War is in it. Moreno has given way. Will Take Charge and Flat Out are next. And Mucho Macho Man has taken the lead as they come to the top of the stretch. Game On Dude is all out. Cutting the corner is Fort Larned. Will Take Charge. Declaration of War coming to a furlong to run. Mucho Macho Man. Declaration of War. Fort Larned on the inside. Mucho Macho Man has the lead close to home. Mucho Macho Man. Declaration of War. Will Take Charge. A final man. Mucho Macho Man! He did it over Will Take Charge! The Declaration of War in a thrilling Breeders' Cup Classic!
Support, of course, is your husband, Tim Ritvo, an executive at Gulfstream. Tim, You know what she's gone through. Can you put it in words?
No, it's an amazing story. She's a fighter. She fought to live for her kids, and this is the pinnacle. She's worked for this her whole life, deserves every minute of it. So it's all about her. She's done a great job with this horse. Fantastic.
Congratulations to the Ritvo family. Mucho Macho Man. Tom Hammond.
All right, Bob, as she wipes the tears, she is a heart transplant survivor. And after surviving the heart transplant, she has become an advocate for heart transplants. We got to know her a little bit on the Triple Crown Trail, very passionate about it. And she has become the first woman to train
Thank you so much. I love you. I love this horse. You just made an old man happy. Great training job.
Just made an old man happy. So Kathy Ritvo is the first woman trainer to train a Breeders' Cup Classic winner.
Congratulations.
Let's go to Kenny Rice.
All right, thank you, Tom. I'm with Mike Smith, who rode Game On Dude. Mike, what about this today?
Man, I'm just lost for words, to be honest with you, Kenny. I mean, I broke really well. Everyone was sending pretty hard. I don't know what else I could have done. I mean, maybe go faster, maybe take back a little more. I don't know. I thought I was in a, okay spot. I know we're going quick, but he's used to going quick. Mucho Macho Man broke very well and kind of eased back and got to my outside really quick. Gary just rode a tremendous race and was on me really fast down the backside. So, I mean, I thought we were both in good spots. If anything, I had to jump on him, and I just couldn't withstand the run like he did.
Well, both you guys have had a remarkable year and a remarkable weekend. I know it's tough to lose, but you lose to one of your best friends.
Yeah, I'm really happy for Gary, man. He rode a tremendous race, and it just won our day today.
All right. Thank you, Mike.
Macho Man, the winning owners, Dean and Patty Reeds. Congratulations. Elizabeth Banks does have the trophy.
I do. Breeders' Cup champion. Mucho Macho Man. Look at Gary, too.
After last year's narrow defeat, what did this win in the Classic mean today?
Redemption, because Macho Man is a champion. Kathy Ritvo is a champion trainer, and Finn Green is the greatest racing manager you could have. I'm thrilled for the fans and for Mucho Macho Man. We're just thrilled.
Your thoughts when Will Take Charge made that late surge?
I really thought he got us. To be honest, it was scary, but Macho hung on. There's no denying him now. He won the Breeders' Cup Classic.
A great ride by this guy, Gary Stevens.
You know, they say horse racing's a lot like life. In both, you always want to be close to the action. Don't you? Well, this is where the action lives. For one weekend every year, in a way it doesn't anywhere else, anytime else. This is what the action looks like, what it sounds like.
They're off in the Breeders' Cup Classic.
What it feels like. For 30 years, everything about the competition, everything about the entertainment, it's all been proven to be, well, timeless.
And they're into the stretch.
The money doesn't get any bigger.
And they're off.
The names don't get any bolder.
The Breeders' Cup Classic.
The elation doesn't get any sweeter. This is the Breeders' Cup Classic, baby. This is where everyone wants to be.
NBC Sports, home of racing's biggest events, proudly presents the Breeders' Cup World Championships.